we have on the right side, we have Team Dragons, Candydragons, with their pink Zerg player Shors and their red Terran player Ichiroku. And in the left side, we have double Zerg from Team GdA. It is Psycho as well as DK. And I think that's going to be a very tough matchup actually for the Candydragons. They do, however... wait, where's that ramp? Why can't I see it? Oh, okay, it's a really big ramp. Oh no, it's really small. Oh, this fog of war was really messing me up. He can actually wall this off quite well. Huh. But that is going to make expanding rather difficult. This is an interesting map. I like this new idea by Blizzard, like introduce a mutual ramp for both players so you don't die to rushes as much as people used to.
Yeah, there were a couple of maps in Wings of Liberty like this, but not nearly enough, and the mutual ramps were gigantic, to say the least. So 6 pools, 10 pools, you know, double 6 pool or double 8 pool or whatever, depending on the distance between the bases, was really difficult to hold. And then usually what followed after that was a baneling bust, so...
Yeah, I gotta remember that even if you wall off, there's still quite a few things, or at least a couple mechanics that the Zerg has, which allow them to literally break through it.
Yeah. So it's going to be probably on the side of GdA. It's going to be a pull versus an expansion. One player focusing on early economy, the other one focusing on defense, or potentially pressure, depending on the scouting. And what's happening on the side of the Dragons? Zerg is going to be expanding, and the Terran player is going to try and protect him until his economy will be strong enough. Again, we'll probably be seeing a factory. That's slightly later, I feel. That gas was not before the barracks.
No, this was actually a very standard Reaper build from the Terran. The question is, how is he going to follow it up? Like, is he going to get a command center of his own, which is quite greedy in 2v2? And from the looks of it, yeah, I'm not quite sure. He's saving up quite a few minerals, so this might actually be the Reaper expand build, because he's still quite a ways way ahead from getting a factory.
Now the expansions are almost done for our 2 Zerg players here, Shors and DK. So Psycho just a little bit behind, but he's getting a gas as well. Now this Reaper is going to do some scouting work here, because so far Team Dragons is playing completely blind. They don't know what the openings of their opponents are. And compared to Wings of Liberty 2v2s that we've seen last year, I have to say that these are a lot calmer in the early stages of the game. A lot less aggression is happening before the 6-minute mark.
Ichiroku is doing a bit of scouting with the Reaper, getting a good idea of what his opponent is doing. He should see the fact that there are speed links on the way, because, well, there are links, there's gas, they don't have speed yet, so circling speed is also really good in 2v2. Did he actually scout the expansion? Yes, he did. So they both should know what their respective bases are. Actually, no. The Zerg players are still kind of in the dark, except for the Overlord that scouted the base of Ichiroku. So information advantage goes to the Candydragons here, but the question is, what will they do with it? Well, Ichiroku getting an expansion.
Yeah. 2 Reapers now make their way into Psycho's base, try to take down some probes. A couple of them did go down, it looks like. But yeah, this is pretty much just a slight pressure with scouting, and we're having a starport follow-up off of this. No tech labs in sight so far, so it's probably going to be Hellions.
Yeah.
Potentially Banshees. There's still enough time for that for those barracks to build a tech lab, and yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen here. What the layer timing is going to be for the Zerg players on GdA team, that is the question. I mean, it's good to have Spore Crawlers, but Overseers obviously are better. And there's the layer, but on the opposing team.
Another drone gets picked off in the base of Psycho by the Reapers. They actually have a lot of surface area to actually get in that base if they still want to. A bunch of links from Shores actually marching across the map are going to be bumping into these of DK and see how they will respond to it. Well, kills one Ling and just goes home on his merry way. This will force a response here from the Green Zerg, who is making a lot more links, and it seems like the fight is soon going to be on, because Hellions coming out from the Terran. He's got his Birch Banshee on the way. He should be adding on a couple more Hellions, because it's floating a lot of money actually.
Yeah, Looks like the Ling aggression is being contained for the time being. And I have to wonder if Team Dragons did not attack a little bit too prematurely here, with only half of their forces. I think it should have been better if they had waited for the Hellions and then attack in unison, and now both of these attacks are actually going to be significantly weaker. Oh, here we go. Psycho tries to surround those Hellions. Good micro coming out of Ichiroku, however, and he has killed a bunch of Lings basically for free, forcing a reinforcement production out of their opponent. And look at this. Spire coming out of Deka here.
Yeah. So they both the Zergs got themselves a Baneling nest, but they haven't really made any Banelings so far. Actually, heavy upgrades coming out of Psycho as well. So this is, from the looks of it, really going to be a bit of a macro game. I like the roaches in this place here by Psycho. They deal really well with Reaper Hellion. But yeah, not so much with Banshees. And Ichiroku has actually added on triple barracks, but hasn't really done anything with it. And even though the gameplay of 2v2 doesn't accommodate all that well to it, going mech would actually be a very interesting choice here.
Yeah, that would, because it would secure expansions. You know, tanks are difficult to break for Zergs. You need a lot of units to do that. If there's a lot of tanks, planetary fortresses can be built as well. They only cost minerals, so you're not investing gas. And you can help defend the Zerg expansions in this way, and then the Zerg is free to produce units and put on pressure on your opponent, whether it be Mutalisks or mass Ling run-bys or Banelings or whatever. Speaking of Mutalisks, Shores is producing his Mutas right now, but so is Deka from GdA. Let's see who will have the advantage in the Muta numbers. No anti-air from the Terran player Ichiroku to help out, so...
Yeah, the first one I noticed that there will be Mutas is him though, because he's currently harassing with a Banshee of his own. His Hellions actually taking a lot of damage and get taken out almost for free there by the Banelings and the Zerglings. I've been watching his first-person view and I was a bit surprised because he was supply blocked for like a good 2 minutes while he was still averaging 160 APM, which I find interesting, to put it lightly. Currently, he does have, well, a lot of infrastructure, but I think with this 5th base here for the Zergs on the other side of the map, the advantage is kind of on their side.
It could very well be, and wow, this is very interesting. Psycho is going for a Spire of his own as well, not trusting his teammate to have the right Muta numbers to counteract Shores' army composition. Nice Ling run-by here at the bottom base from not Ichiroku, excuse me, from Shores, but that's been dealt with. And the Mutas are now on the field. We have, let's take a count. Let's take a head count. 15 Mutalisks for Shores versus only 8 for Deka, and Psycho does not yet have any Mutalisks out. Now he's producing 9. Now, if this continues, the Purple Zerg Shores will be outnumbered heavily in a couple more production cycles, and his Mutalisks will start dying. And you know, when you have a lot of Mutas, even Marines cannot help you. The fact that Ichiroku is even mixing Marauders into his composition does not help matters all that much neither.
I do think that Ichiroku is not in that bad of a position for now, but that's mostly because he's going to harass. Like, he set up a lot of barracks, and he's going to be making a lot of Marines. But you need more than just that to win the game. Like, if your opponent just has more stuff than you, then you still just kind of lose. He's getting good upgrades, 1-1. Really helps. Also getting an armory. In fact, he already has an armory. He's upgrading +1 attack for his ship weapons. I like the way he's building his depots. Like, he's created 2 waves of depots around his main orbital command in a bit of a chaotic fashion.
Yeah.
Floating his own command center to the gold will actually kickstart his economy rather heavily though, but the Zergs are doing the same.
Yeah, they have taken down the rocks. I have to say it took quite some time because those rocks have been chewed upon by Zerglings. So, you know, despite Roaches being on the field, Zerglings did the majority of the damage on those rocks. And here comes Ichiroku. Not that big of an army from his partner. Oh, scratch that! Here come the Mutalisks, but they find themselves in a very difficult spot here, being chased by the green and yellow Mutalisks of the GdA team. They have to get their stuff together and position their units rather well. And oh my God, where did these Marines come from? That's an awful lot of Marines, high in numbers. And this might actually end up in GdA losing all of their, both of their Mutalisk flocks.
I'm not sure if I agree. Here comes the Zerg force. Here comes the Terran force, but no splitting really from the Terran. It takes a lot of damage from these Banelings. Finally a couple of splits, but the Mutalist numbers are actually overwhelming Shurs' Mutas as well. So a big win here for GdA.
Yeah. So the Mutas, actually the number of Mutas that they had on the field was too great, but I still think with good splits, this might have ended up in a different way, maybe.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a harass here in the bottom, but GdA takes care of it very, very quickly. Let's take a look at the supplies.
Yeah.
Pretty even, with GdA being slightly in the lead overall, and Ichiroku heavily battered. He's really down on supply currently.
Yeah, but he is on 3 bases, including a gold one. However, it seems like Psycho is going to be chasing that. Turrets here are not built in time, and quite a lot of heavy rest. Actually, there's quite a few turrets here, so it will take a bit of time before they all go down, and it's enough time for the Terran and the Zerg to reinforce this base. Most of the SSVs do survive, and it takes a nice engagement here.
Here come the Marines as well, but the Banelings are here, and more reinforcements coming in from a Psycho in the form of Banelings and Lings. The Marines are trying to chase the Mutalisks. Do pick off a couple of those, but they have to be careful not to be chased into a trap here by the GdA.
Very dangerous. Well, he actually seems to be looking to push on. This Marine force, not really all that big, I feel. Lings running actually by, going to be sniping this gold base from Psycho. It gets cancelled, nice job. This might be the right moment to strike. The Mutas of Shores try to fly into the main of Psycho, but they get deflected by the rest of the Mutas. But now it seems Ichiroku is making his way into his opponent's territory.
Oh, here we come! He
God,
decides to engage. The Banelings are coming in. There are no splits coming off the Terran player. The Lings are trying to prevent the retreat of the Marines. Mutas are in pursuit. Marines are trying to start step back, but they do get surrounded ultimately by the Lings, and Banelings have to pick up into the medevac. And now it's all down to the Muta fight here, who is going to have the upper hand. It looks like Shores is winning the air battle decisively, and now turns around to help Ichiroku, his teammate. It's an all-out retreat here, but I don't know who actually came out ahead there, since given the fact that Psycho lost all of his Mutas there.
Well, he lost, yeah, losing the air battle in the CVC usually ends the game completely. And in this case, even though Ichiroku and well, the rest of Team Dragons lost the ground battle, winning the air battle so decisively with so many more Mutas left is actually a big win for them.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that Ichiroku's infrastructure is completely untouched. He's still producing 17 Marines at a time.
Yeah, and his teammate does have 48 Mutas in the air. No additional bases being taken, but all the gases are working here for Shores, and Shores is on the hunt. He's going to deny this gold base for Psycho once again. Immediate cancel, good reaction there, but he's been denied that income. Rebuilding that Mutaflux for him is going to be nigh impossible right now, I feel like, with his income and his current resources. Yeah, he's completely out of gas, his opponent as well. And this is where you have a standing army, you don't need to build additional units, and you start to accumulate back. This is where Ichiroku and Shores stand right now. And it looks like they want to drive this one home and put a final nail in the coffin of their opponents here.
It seems that every time Ichiroku tries to commit to a ground battle, he just gets completely stunned. And really the Zerg has to really do the damage here, and well, the damage is being done. He's sniping the gold base, but here come a couple of Banelings in, get a couple of good connections, but still, hatchery does fall, but he has to sacrifice a lot of links in order to accomplish so. The base in the bottom right is actually sniped as well, so the income for the team GdA is actually plummeting right now.
Yeah, this is going to fall pretty heavily, and you know, yeah, I have to say that Shores and Ichiroku are in a very good position right now, and they can try to bleed their opponents dry. We will, I think, definitely see at least one more 1v1 here, because it looks more and more like like Ichiroku and Shores taking this game here.
You know what would try to possibly win him the game? Infestors. Look at
Oh,
how
that's
clogged
true.
the Mutalisks are. If you can just get one fungal off, it's like game over, man. Like, you can do so much damage with just a bunch of infestors, and
If he'll
it
be
doesn't
able
seem
to
like-
produce them, he's losing all of his
Yeah,
overlords.
that's the problem right now. But Shores, on the other hand, is not accounting for that at all. Actually, I think Shores can turn around and fight here. He'll have an upgrade 2-2 versus 0-1 and 1-2. You know, his force is just clearly superior. And finally, Ichiroku is able to make a dent in his opponent's army. Here come a bunch of links, but I think there's too many marines for them.
Yeah, it does look like it. Here come the banelings as well. Ichiroku tries to split his marines. Way better splits than we have seen in the past, but this is just too many lings. Oh, here come the marines from the back. Yeah, those lings are probably not going to be as effective as Psycho had hoped, but the marines are heavily overstimmed. A flank from the left side, and the marines have to retreat meanwhile. Let's take a look at the mutas of Shores, with which he's been very active, and there's the fungal you were talking about. I feel.
Fungal. He needs more. Oh, there's another fungal indeed, and it does a lot of damage, but still the mutas from Psycho were in the case one more fungal, but it misses. Very close there. That was actually the best shot they had so far, turning this game around. But
Yeah.
Shores is just going to retreat. He's going to heal up all of his Mutalisks, and Ichiroku has taken 3 additional bases, except for the one which is right next to his main base. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, he's going to be producing, what, like 30 marines per cycle or something ridiculous like that in a while here. And there's a hive being queued up from Shores, so he's going to tech up even further. I wonder what he's going to switch into.
It's a good question. Income-wise, well, Shores Ichiroku actually is mining 4,000 minerals a minute.
What?
So yeah, he dropped a couple mules to the left side, and I guess he's in good shape. Going to be able to produce a lot of marines. He's also got quite a lot of gas, so I imagine he should be adding on a couple of ravens as well. Where are all the marines? Like, did he lose his army again? Like, he is producing a lot, but his army supply isn't even overwhelming.
Dude, he's got 81 marines on the field. That's more than both the Mutalisk numbers of Psycho and Deka combined, alright?
Yeah.
And let's take a look at the upgrades. Yeah, you guessed it, 3-3 on the marines. I feel that without the support of the ground army or infestors, these marines alone can win the game right now. With the reinforcement capabilities of Ichiroku, if you only build more barracks, I mean, he's floating almost 3,000 gas.
Yeah, even barracks aren't going to be helping all that much, of course, against floating gas. We have a healthy amount of bailings for Psycho now to be able to take out this drop, but the main force is a problem. All the infestors die to the marines. Yeah, everything goes in and decent splitting by Psycho, but they know it is over. They've lost their last mining base, and GG is called. The Candydragons, they do take this 2v2 in a 25-minute game, which is, I think, a record for DSCL standard.